I was not involved in the preparation whatsoever. I didn't even know this was happening. I was at school. I, I, I seem to recall it was a Monday, late afternoon at school. We were rehearsing, it was in December, rehearsing for a Christmas show. And suddenly my father appeared in the classroom. That's unlike him to do that. I was very pleased to see him. And he said, "Come on, we're going." I said, "What's going on?" Then he got my coat and we went down and outside, and there was this beautiful car, black car, with a chauffeur. What's all this? And we got into a very comfortable car. I've never been in a car like this. There was Dad. And then apparently, I gather, if I recall right, he said we're going off to the BBC Playhouse because we're doing This Is Your Life on my mother. I can't really remember much excitement or anything. It was all happening very quickly. I guess we must have had rehearsals, but I did learn, and I was going to say a few words at the very end. The show opened, and we were all hidden in the back. I don't remember much. I've seen photographs of myself in that show. I think it's absolutely ghastly, so I tend to forget about it. There are lots of people who say that she's so easy to get on with, and she was never critical of people, and she just had the knack of making people feel very good. There were two factors that made her quite well known, several factors. She was a POW out of the Far East, this Shaggy camp. She was one of 3 women taken by the Kempi Thai. These had their own secret police called Kempi Thai. And she was put in a cell with 15 other men, very small, 15 men sitting cross-legged. I think people are always interested to hear when certain female attorneys have had a different life during the war. After the war, my parents got together, and I was conceived very soon, as it happened to many children born to parents who suffered from malnutrition. I was born with very bad ears and not brilliant eyes, so I was born deaf. I've never heard sounds only except via hearing aids. And my mother became very passionate about that parents needed help once they find themselves with a deaf toddler. And she got very involved. It went the then Deaf Children's Society, and she felt every support must be given, not just to the deaf child, but to the parents who needed help. And because of her work, she became quite well known, and she was very articulate. She could give talks. She was very good at doing publicity, public relations. She could raise money. The Deaf Children's Society, which then became National Deaf Children's Society, needed money. The People newspaper wanted to do a series about her, and an article in the Sunday newspaper, People, and she said only on condition that they paid her enough money. The whole of that money would go to National Deaf Children's Society. That's what paid for NDCS to rent accommodation, a building in just off parallel to Baker Street, Gloucester Place. She also had no bitterness from her time when she was interned. There were an awful lot of people who had a tough time out to the Far East, and they had just hatred for the Japanese. Mum didn't have it, and there were a few others like her, because why should you? It was war, and she was more angry with the Germans, with the Western society, for doing terrible things, more angry with the Germans than she was with the Japanese. It's a completely different way of life. God, I recall that one of the, there were a few people who came on This Is Your Life, and they were involved with Singapore. I can't remember at all, but I remember Catherine de Mowbray. She shared a cell with my mum at times, and wherever possible, at Changi, and they had a similar outlook, able to see the funny side. I think they were like-minded, even though they both came from a completely different background. I saw, when Mum came on, I saw she was wearing her, what was then the 1950s fashion coat of deep bluey, not quite turquoise, but deep bluey sea silk coat, very long, the fashion of Dior. And she made the coat herself. It looked so expensive, but she made it herself. She was so proud. It looked like she spent lots of money. No, she made it. That I remember. She used to make wonderful coats for herself, and very elegant house gowns instead of dressing gowns of velvet materials that came over from Dublin, because early in the 50s the material was rationed. So she looked elegant. My only informant, I know that I remember towards the end I came on the stage, hi to Mum, I don't remember the and Eamonn said something which I have no idea what he said, and he gave me the book, and I gave it to my mum. As far as I recall, I think I was the one who did say, This Is Your Life. I gave Mum the book. I don't remember afterwards, it must have been a party. I think I was sent home.